Happy 50th anniversary of the Rubik's Cube.
You too.
Wait, by the way, do you know when the Rubik's Cube was invented and how it was made?
It was invented on May 19th, 1974, exactly 50 years back from today.
I think I remember. Arno Rubik made it, right?
Yep, Arno Rubik, which is why it's called the Rubik's Cube. If you get rid of the then it's just Rubik's Cube, which literally says the cube which Rubik made.
Oh yeah, that actually makes sense. He was a Hungarian sculptor and professor, right? Of architecture.
Yep, and to explain to his students 3D architecture concepts of some sort, I do not know what they used to explain back in 1974, but of some sorts, he made the Rubik's Cube. And he scrambled it in front of them and then figured out he couldn't solve it. So he spent 1 full month solving it. And the way he did it is a little different from how we do it today. We do it layer by layer, with each layer of the Rubik's Cube getting solved as steps progress. And he did it first the corners and then all the edges.
Oh, that's very strange by today's standards.
Oh.
Yeah, back then he was like, I just made a Marvin. I'm the smartest guy in the world.
Right? Not really.
I'm pretty sure he was proud of himself though for making that.
Maybe. The first world record was made in the first Rubik's competition in 1982. The record was 22.23 seconds, I think. Around 22.2 seconds.
Oh,
which is very fast considering I still average just above 40 seconds.
Me too. And that's nowhere near Max Park's 3.134 world record,
which is the current world record. And Yi Hang Wang made the average world record. In an average, you do 5 solves and your best and worst solves get excluded, and then the remaining 3, you take the average of those. That's how the WCA does it. And Yi Hang Wang got a 4.48, which is crazy. Like, imagine solving a Rubik's Cube in 4.5 seconds and you're like...
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered India's fastest cuber, Aryan Chabra.
Yeah, he has a 4.81 single.
Oh, yeah.
Indian record.
And he has around 6.5 second average.
6.53.
Yeah.
Indian average record. He holds the records for 3x3, both of them in India. And I cannot remember the name unfortunately, but some Indian holds one of the clock world records. The clock is a weird cube. I don't think we should even call it a Rubik's Cube. We should just call it a puzzle because the clock isn't a cube.
Yeah, and another thing. I think, if I remember correctly, he holds the 111th place, 111 in world record.
You might be right with that one, but I do not know.
Something new. So, by the way, now that we're talking about Rubik's Cubes, which do you think is the best method to solve a Rubik's Cube?
Start with the beginner method. Then if you like it and you want to get faster, beginner CFOP, which we both are using right now.
Yeah.
And if you want to get even faster than that, learn full CFOP. Like as of now, I am learning full PLL. I did one algorithm so far, the JB-PERM.
Oh yeah. Oh, I just remembered one thing. There was something called ZPLL. How many did that? 439 algorithms.
That is a lot.
It just completes the whole last layer in one step, right?
I think so. No, that's different. It does something to OLL and PLL. If you want to look the last layer, so after finishing F12, if you want to do the last layer at looking once, you have to learn close to 3,900 algorithms.
Oh.
If you learned one algorithm per day, that would take you around 11 years to learn. I'm 12, so I'd have to start learning at age 1. And by then I had to know full CFOP with ZBLL. I don't think I can learn full CFOP and ZBLL while I'm learning to walk though. That is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, imagine a toddler solving a Rubik's Cube, going around walking with 0.2 second Z-PERMs.
Wow. There's actually some girl from China who's 6 years old and she's getting sub 20 WC averages.
Yi Wang is 10, I think.
He's just turned 10 recently.
Yeah, and he has a 4.
And he's sub 5.
Yeah.
Which is like, he's literally the best cuber in the world as of today. Considering if you consider the average of 5, the thing you have to be best at to be the best cuber in the world.
Luke Garrett has the second fastest single.
Who?
Luke Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Luke Garrett.
Yeah, sorry, I pronounced it wrong.
You have to say sorry to Luke Garrett.
Sorry, Luke Garrett.
Garrett. Actually, I'm not sure if Garrett is the right pronunciation either. If it's wrong, then you can just tell us
In the comments down below.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was saying that, what was that?
Luke Garrett.
Let me think. Yeah, I was thinking about ZBLL. I don't think ZBLL is practical.
It's practical for people who want to get fast, like COLL. I don't know how many algorithms COLL has.
I don't even know what COLL even is for that matter.
It's a variation of OLL. I guess you should just call it call because it's like COLL.
It's like call
with an extra L. But fall has 2 L's and we don't say fall.
So it's call.
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 COLL.
I know, but
Call.
call.
COAL. Let's forget about the spellings. They're confusing because they're abbreviations. By the way, in case you didn't know, CFOP, the term we're referring most to in this video,
Cross F2L OLL PLL.
F2L stands for the first 2 layers. Cross stands for cross. OLL stands for orientation of the last layer. So you take all the top face pieces and make them the same color. So make this face. And PLL means permutation of the last layer. So
Are we
basically
sure?
make all of these the same.
Yes,
Are you going to do a demo solve?
Yep. This is the cube, a Rubik's cube. It's a GAN. So first let me scramble it.
Can I scramble it?
Sure, why not?
Why am I scrambling so?
My favorite algorithm, by the way, is a T-bomb. I don't know, I just like all the moves like you do like that.
You can show them a T-bomb. It's pretty likely you'll get it in yourself. Yeah. So let's talk about the Rubik's Cube while you do your demo solve. You'll start with the cross.
First cross. I'll get my pieces lined up. Here is the first piece. I see this here. So I can just pop it in the back, if you see. Then this piece. Oh, I didn't know. I popped it in the wrong place. Ha ha. This piece. I can just turn around and
Sledgehammer it in. That's called a sledgehammer. Well, there are
Same
two
for
types of
this.
sledgehammers.
and now I have my cross done.
It's basically a cross shape on the bottom of the cube.
Now let me just make my F2L pairs.
Which literally you take the pieces that are supposed to go here and here and here and here, like this and this, and join them in such a way that you can put them back into that place at once,
Like this.
and now you can do the rest of your F2L pairs. Anyways, did you know one thing?
What?
The first world record was 22 seconds.
So,
And that was not done with CFOP.
then
Imagine if that guy had been using the much better method, CFOP. Imagine how fast his solve would have been then.
oh, look, I got this case.
It's
When you do
OLL.
a Y perm, yes, it's OLL. But this is not just a line case. When you do a Y perm, you get this case. All you have to do, a righty and a sledgehammer. And I've got my whole top solved.
Now on to PLL.
So I'll align this. I have some headlights. I don't know what this is. I think this is some sort of J perm.
Nah, it's not a J-perm.
So I'll just usually do a T perm.
That's his favorite algorithm.
Yeah, I love it. Whenever I get the chance, I just
do it. And
Yeah.
this is a U-perm to finish the thing off. And solve cube. So that was quick.
Real quick.
But not nearly as quick as the professionals. You know one thing, how fast the professionals turn?
How?
Timon Koleshinsky turns pretty fast. He uses a special technique he calls CF top. Cross F12, but then he does that T-perm algorithm.
I love it.
And then OLL and then PLL.
I don't see how just doing a T-perm in the middle will...
I think it will make your PLL case better.
Who knows?
Yeah. And he can turn around 12 TPS. TPS stands for turns per second. So if I get that cube back again, I'll just use this one. This is about 3 TPS. So imagine 4 times that speed.
That would be crazy.
I think it sounds like a motor running when he turns.
Oh yeah, I've always seen him with earmuffs.
The reason he does that so he doesn't get distracted.
Something like this.
That's not even close to 12 TPS. That's nearly 10 TPS. Wow, you're turning fast.
But it's fast. Great, I just got my cube scrambled. Haha.
So where were we? Timon Koleshinsky turning fast.
Yeah.
So did you know that if you want to learn full CFOP, you have to learn 42 F12 algorithms, 57 OLL algorithms, and 21 PLL algorithms.
But that's advanced CFOP. We use beginner CFOP right now.
Yeah, that's 10 OLL algorithms, 6 PLL algorithms, and intuitive F12. So you basically look at the pieces and try to do it without any algorithms.
I know a few algorithms, like for some pairs you just do 3 righty algs. A righty is basically this. R, U, R prime.
Which stands for cube notation. R means to turn the right face clockwise by 90 degrees. U means to turn the up face, the top face, clockwise by 90 degrees. D stands for down, B stands for back, L stands for left.
Oh, you're going too fast.
F stands for front. M stands for the middle slice, this
I
one.
know.
S stands for this slice,
This.
E stands for this slice. And you can make a cool pattern on a Rubik's Cube that's just lying around. If you follow along, just take the cube, do M2. How you would do that if you don't know how to do M finger tricks like this? You would just move this layer twice and then take both the middle layers and do it twice and do that for every face. And you end up with this chessboard like pattern, a checkerboard.
Let's talk about some types of Rubik's Cubes. This is a maglev.
No, that's not a maglev. That's sprung.
Sorry, it's a sprung cube. Sprung cubes basically have springs in them. How do I open this center cap? Oh,
You can't really see the springs anyway, so it doesn't matter.
there's screws for tensioning.
Like if you squish the screw, that's basically screw depth. So if you squish the screw, then the pieces won't get that much room to come in and out. And if you pull the screw all the way out, then the pieces can go so far out. But that can be dangerous because this is unsolvable. No matter how much you try to solve this cube, it will be impossible to solve it without twisting this corner back. It's called
Actually,
a
that's
corner
wrong.
twist.
I can solve a cube with a corner twist. I'll just do it on this cube.
It's impossible.
It's possible. It's just that it makes it slower because then I have to do more algs to turn this corner. Or in the middle of the solve, I can just corner twist again, which works.
But you forgot which corner to twist it.
Yes, that is a very good point.
Fine. If you don't believe that a corner twist is unsolvable, try solving your cube and see if you have a corner twist at the end. It might be a different corner than the one that you twisted at the start, but there'll always be a corner twist.
But I'll defy the laws of physics.
You mean the laws of cubing?
Whatever. Isn't cubing something?
Yeah.
See, nothing's wrong.
Look at OLL.
See, nothing's wrong.
Fine, do a Soon algorithm.
Okay, I think I know what's wrong.
Do an anti-Soon.
Yeah.
The top face is unsolvable. Never mind, imagine it's not there and just try to do the PLL.
blue, so that would be some headlights actually.
No, it won't.
No. So then
We got headlights here now.
And there we go. You said it's unsolvable, but you never said. You said it's unsolvable. I solved it. Just I ended up with a corner twist in the
But
end.
that's a DNF. Did not finish in WCA. Okay, so
Yes.
that's a magnetic cube. This is also a magnetic cube, but I'll just show you on this one. So you see these silver things? Those are literally magnets. So if you bring the cube close enough, it sort of aligns. You can see. I just touch it barely and it aligns itself.
And there's this thing called corner cutting, which is really helpful.
This cube has horrible corner cutting. It won't turn. And that cube has incredible corner cutting. You can literally misalign the top layer by 45 degrees and it still turns. Not so much in reverse. Reverse, it's like 25 degrees. Yeah, this is a maglev cube. Not a very good maglev cube, but a maglev cube. It actually is worse than that cube. But it has magnets to replace the springs, which makes it extra smooth. But this cube we haven't cleaned in a while, and we never looped any of our cubes except for this one. So this one is quite bad now.
This is a Kiwi Warrior S. This is a Cublilo Drift Maglev 3M. This is a GAN 356M Lite. Now, there's also another thing. Moyu calls it a ball core. Basically, the core inside it, I'll show you by taking apart the cube.
Hey, that's my old cube.
Aha. This inside, you see it?
The core.
Yeah, the core. It's going to be ball. This inside here, it's going to be a ball core.
It's basically going to have magnets. So there'll be magnets here and magnets in the core. So what that basically does is if you misalign the cube by like this much, it'll basically turn itself halfway.
Which is a little irritating when it turns the wrong way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you want to see more videos about ball cores, you can go look at cube reviews. I can name a few channels if you want to buy a speed cube. You can look at Cubehead, you can look at JPerm,
Cube Face, which is another channel of Cubehead.
And then you've got Speed Cube Shop, The Cubicle, Cublilo, and finally, what's that last guy?
The Australian one.
Brody the Cuber is good if you want to learn to solve a cube.
Yeah.
And also get tips on how to get faster. And then, I forgot one channel.
Soup to Me?
Yeah, Soup to Me. He basically displays the weirdest cubes in the world.
And another thing, he also posts more videos about WCA, like going to a competition. So if you want to go to a competition and prep or something, you can check out his channel.
Those are just a few cubers who post on YouTube. Where's my last corner?
It's hidden
Behind the GAN. So that's it for this video. We hope you enjoyed it, even though we did not talk that much about the types of cubes. Oh, and the worst possible speed cube you want to use is
the original 1980
Rubik's Cube. Because that thing turns very bad. It has 0 degrees of corner cutting. So you literally have to align the whole thing like.
And by the way, today is the 50th anniversary of the Rubik's Cube.
As I said in the beginning of the video, it was invented on May 19th, 1974. And if you're watching this video on the day it was published, today is May 19th, 2024. So, happy Rubik's Cube 50th anniversary.
Yep.
And bye.
Actually, not bye. I have an idea.
You did that in the last video too.
5 Rubik's Cubes. 50th anniversary. Just we don't have 50, so 5. It works.
1 for each decade.
So, we hope you like the 50th anniversary cube video, I think. Bye.